Hello, chess fans. In today's video, I'm going to share a game I played where I used the center fork trick. Game starts with e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, knight c3, then bishop c5. I capture the pawn on e5 with my knight. Knight captures back. Then I play d4. My opponent played bishop to b4. Then I captured the knight on e5. Bishop takes the knight on c3, and then I recaptured with the pawn. Opponent plays d6. I took on d6. Opponent takes back with the pawn. I played bishop a3. Knight to f6 was played. I played pawn to f3. My opponent castles. I captured the pawn on d6 with my queen. We exchanged queens. Rook to d8 was played. I moved my bishop to e5. My opponent moved their knight to d7, attacking my bishop. I moved my bishop to d4. Rook to e8 was played. I developed my other bishop to d3. Pawn to f5 was played. I moved my king to f2 to escape the pin. Pawn captures on e4, and the bishop recaptures. Knight to e5 was played. I moved my rook from h1 to e1. Knight to c4 was played. I played bishop to d5, forking the king and the knight. My opponent moved the king to f8. I captured the rook with check. After we traded rooks, I captured the knight. My opponent moved the bishop to f5, targeting the pawn on c2. So, I moved my bishop to d3. We exchanged bishops. Pawn to g6 was played. I moved my rook to e1 with check. The king moved to f7. I advanced my g-pawn. My opponent played rook to c8. My opponent pushed the b-pawn. I advanced my f-pawn. Pawn to b5 was played. I moved my king to f3. Pawn to a5 was played. I played a3. Pawn to b4 was played. We exchanged some pawns. My opponent moved the rook to d8, attacking my bishop. I moved my bishop to c5. Rook takes d3 with check. I blocked with my rook. Rook to d1 was played. I gave a check on e7 with my rook. The king moved to f6. In this position, I missed a checkmate in 2 moves. Can you find it? It's pawn to g6 check. King to f5 is the only legal move. Then rook to e5 delivers checkmate. Back to the game. I captured the pawn on h7 with my rook. I advance my pawns. We traded rooks. My opponent resigned after I promoted a pawn to a queen. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that notification bell so you can stay updated with all our latest content.